Oh, this is so great. I got somebody from the UK. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you so much, dear fellow.
Well, Richard, it's really great to have you. I got my cousin there, Winnie the Pooh. He just did a film there. He's got that British accent. He did not invite me to the premiere, the little bastard.
Did he not? So, do
No,
you guys
no,
have a
no.
falling out?
No, we don't have a falling out. He's just, he's a very proper guy. He's afraid I'll say
Yes,
something anyway, but
yes,
that's
yes.
okay. I don't hold a grudge.
No, he's upstanding
I,
guy.
I
He
do
is.
hold a grudge. But anyway, so I want to talk to you about Brexit.
Okay.
I'm a bear. I don't understand this crap at all. Could you break it down? Could you break it down for me? The Brexit.
Oh, well done, well done. Oh, there's a good pun already.
Yeah.
So, the short answer is no, I can't because it's really complex and no one actually knows what's going on.
Oh, okay.
The longer answer is let's try.
Okay.
So we decided as a nation to ask ourselves, should we leave the EU? But what we decided to do was
And why didn't you like the EU? Because they have too much cheese and wine. What was the main reason for wanting to leave the EU?
The main reason for people wanting to leave the EU was they're upset with their own lives.
Oh, okay.
And they need something to blame, Bobby. That's how it works.
Okay, I got it.
Those that aren't upset with the EU typically seem to see a positive light in it as well. And it's difficult when you are when people are fed certain bits of information and then led to believe it. So it's hard, because
Right. It's not
no one actually knows what they're leaving.
Right.
And no one actually knows what they're going towards because they don't actually know what the EU brings them because, of course, media. And there we are. So that's really our problem, is that we didn't really know what we were voting for. But it felt like fun at the time to be maybe a little bit more radical about things. And, hey, change is good, right? But now we're where we are, and oh, dear.
It's coming up pretty soon, right? It's like March of next year.
Yeah, and I suppose there's a small group of people who somehow hope it will just all go back to how it was. I think it's a bit worrying. What I am impressed with is the view of many that, hey, it's going really well, we'll make it, we'll be fine. And it's like, well, there's not much evidence yet. So I'm a little concerned, but also not concerned, because I've always been the kind of person that thought, let's not let the government look after me. Let me try and look after me. And if the government does, well, then that's a nice perk. And that's trying to kind of keep that philosophy in mind.
Right. Well, so that's kind of like it's like being married and then saying to your wife, let's get a divorce, and then talking to each other for 2 years and then saying, maybe we don't need to get a divorce. Is that what it's kind of like?
Yeah, and then in the end you go, actually, we were thinking we should have a divorce because of things we thought would happen, but in fact they are all false anyway, and the grass isn't quite as green as we thought it might be. And in the meantime, you're trying to find a new marriage partner who maybe is based in another part of the country or something like that to live.
Well, that's got to be hard for businesses to make decisions, because if you don't know what's going on, you don't know the rules, and it's a couple months away. So how does that impact business?
Well, it's hard because no one wants to commit to anything. So what they're doing, they're saying, why don't we go where most people are? That's usually the best thing. So perhaps we decamp from London and we'll go and sit in Europe, because that makes life a little easier. Okay. Unless there's a lovely example of Goldman Sachs, who spent however hundreds of millions on their new headquarters and confirmed they were going to build it in London just before the Brexit vote. So I think Lloyd Blankfein actually said, I think if the vote had come out before we decided to build our new HQ, it maybe would have been at a different location, let's say, but they kind of went through.
That kind of makes you wonder if Goldman Sachs is really on the inside scoop. They didn't know what the hell was going on. If they couldn't figure out their own lease agreement, maybe you might want to check your advisors over there.
Absolutely right. I'm interested though. What's the American view, if not a bear's view of Brexit? Then do you think?
I think that for most of us, we don't understand any of it. We barely understand our stuff. How the heck can we understand other people's stuff?
So we're all in the same boat. No one really knows, except from what they read in the papers, and then that's a very difficult picture to put together.
That's right. And from a bear perspective, as long as I'm making honey, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I think what you'll find in the main is that people do the same thing they always do, which is hope for the best, and not plan for the worst. That's a nice saying, but it's not what people do. They hope for the best, and then when things go wrong, complain a load, and then when it gets really bad, end up just fixing it. That's what will end up happening. So probably nothing will change for a while, but then there'll be some panicky people, but they'll muddle through in the.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh crap! I gotta go. But thanks for helping me out with the Brexit stuff.
Run, find some cover.